You need to know your buyer. If you are sending out marketing messages and you're sending out ad campaigns and you're all over the place, but you don't actually know your buyer, it's going to be challenging to win in business. We are interviewing Peg Duchesne, and she is a marketing strategist and communications consultant. She's the owner and founder of her company, Duchess Enterprise LLC. She helps business owners get the word out about their mission, their product, their service, and crafts their message so that it reaches their ideal client and strategizes on how that message is going to attract that perfect avatar. So Peg, we're so excited to have you on today to teach us about really what we need to know about our buyer and how to attract them in.
Well, thank you so much, Amy. You know, I want to give a shout out to Shay Brown as well. I know Ruben West and you talked about Shay and Trevor, and that's how you and I met quite a number of years ago. So I'm so excited that people have been talking about relationships and connections and how all of those things matter, because that's how I come to be here with you today. So thank you for the invitation. I'm learning so much. I have about 8 pages of notes so far and have already connected on social media with the speakers. And so thank you very much. But you're right. Knowing your buyer can be just so critical in terms of getting more yeses instead of so many no's in your sales cycle.
Yeah, for sure. Because I tell this to people all the time with sales that, you know, I know we're talking marketing today, but let's just do a sales pause. When we did our sales summit last quarter, one of my big tips that I gave people was stop having conversations with the wrong buyer because you're not going to close them. You're going to mess up all your numbers. It's going to make you feel like you're worse at sales than you are, when in reality, you're talking to the wrong people. And I am with you 100% on that.
Right. And, you know, when we had JV's topic, he talked about the personality profile test of DISC. And I think it was Ruben who talked about the Myers-Briggs profile, and then he developed his speaker profile kind of thing. This is very similar to that, but it's totally different. So those are based on psychology analysis of your personality. And what my survey does is quizzes you on it's based on biology, and that's spelled B-U-Y, biology, what makes your customer make that buying decision to get to a yes. And so similar to DISC, we have 4 personality types, and we have all of them in us. They're just ranked differently based on our approach to making a buying decision. And so it's BANK, B-A-N-K, and it's blueprint, action, nurture, and knowledge. And those 4 things can help us base our priority in life, and therefore what would be important to us to hear about the product or service before we can get to the yes, why we need to incorporate that for us. And
I've never heard you talk about this before, but I can see it as you're talking about clients who I'm like, yeah, they didn't want the information. They wanted the heart connection. Or other people who they were like, I don't even need to know how we're going to do it. I just need to know how fast it's going to happen. Like I can totally
exactly.
that different clients, they go through that purchasing process really differently.
You are so right, Amy. And knowing a little bit about our customers before we do that presentation, or in the book, Get a Meeting with Anybody, once you land that meeting, you need to know a little bit about them so you know what to say, and more importantly, how to say it that will resonate on the other side of the table. So what happens is we usually come to the presentation with what's important to us. And so if there's 4 types, we're missing 75% of the other people if we're only talking to the 25% who are our same kind of category. So what I do as a message therapist, I help my clients craft their message that will hit on all 4 customer types if they're preparing a PowerPoint or getting ready to speak to an audience. If they're just doing a one-to-one luncheon meeting or a sales presentation with one person, then I help them craft the message based on what that recipient's profile would be.
Now, one question that I have for you, and I do want to let you kind of break down those 4 and tell us a little bit about each one. One question I have for you is, how do you find that out before the meeting? Do you do a survey?
There's a couple of different ways. You can do a quick survey. So unlike DISC and Myers-Briggs, we can do our identifying profile and come up with the answer to your question within about 90 seconds. And that's my giveaway today, is people can go to my site and do their profile and find out what they are. And then I can teach them from that point how to identify what other people are. But in the last quarter of 20, artificial intelligence component to our product, and it's so exciting. I mean, it's revolutionary. AI is changing the way everybody's going to do sales. And who was it that Stu talked about Forbes is better when he was talking about his marketing and all the magazines he did things for, and he says Forbes is better. Forbes just came out with an article, and another giveaway is people can email me for the Forbes article and I can send it to them, how AI is changing sales cycles. Mm-hmm. And so to answer your question about how can you find out, you can take a snippet of their About Us section of their website, or we've talked a lot today about LinkedIn and that powerful platform of social media. The About Me section, or just the profile section, you can take that and I can run it through my AI component and come up with what that person's profile is. So that definitely prepares you much better to do your presentation once you know what's important to them, and then how your product or solution, how your product or service can solve the problem they're facing and give them the solution and get them to say, yes, I definitely need that. How do we move forward?
That's awesome. That's really cool. Okay, let's go through the 4. So it was BANK. What was
right? So B is bank, and I'm just going to go really quickly because I know we only have a little bit of time. But bank is blueprint, and so you think of people you know that are police officers or in the military, maybe, or depending on what service they are and what their job is in the military. But they're definitely rule followers. They have a tight budget. So if I were an insurance person and I'm talking to a blueprint and I wanted to sell them the umbrella policy above and beyond their auto and home bundle kind of thing, I would talk to them about risk. And even though this is your budget, this is going to be a little more than your budget, but think about the kinds of things that would open you to liability if you don't get this umbrella policy. And so they're real risk averse. And so if you can share with them what risk they would face if they don't move forward by getting whatever, that would speak to them, even if it goes above their budget a little bit. The second letter is A, action. And that's the type of person you were describing, Amy, where I really need this. I don't care what I have to do. Don't give me any more details. Just where do I sign? Let's move forward. They're just very action oriented. They want to know how your product or service is going to make somebody's life easier, how it's going to put them in the spotlight, maybe, those kinds of things. And then N is nurture. And it's so the person that really wants to put goodness in the world, how this is going to make the world a better place. If your business gives a portion of your profits to a charity, that's something you want to definitely share with a nurture person if they're hearing about your company. And then K is about the knowledge. A K is the person that's going to take the longest in your sales cycle because they want all the answers. They want to know your credentials. They want to know if you know, all those alphabet soup letters at the end of your name. If you're a financial advisor, what did it take for you to get those credentials? Those are the kinds of things that a K person is interested in. So once you understand the priority letter of the person's profile that you're speaking to, you can then craft a message that's going to speak directly to them. And then you get them to yes much more quickly.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, so we are about out of time here.
Right.
I definitely know this is something I want to study more because I've never been, I've understood this intuitively, even though I haven't heard you break it down this way before, but I can't get there before the conversation. And that's what I'm loving so much about this is I can pick up on it when I meet someone and within the first 10 minutes, I know. But I want to know before, so I don't even have to waste those 10 minutes. That's really exciting to me. So what's the process for getting connected and learning more about this?
So the very first thing that your listeners can do is go to my website, Color Me Yes. So COLOR, like blue, red, yellow, green kind of color me yes, yes, because it's all about getting to the yes and getting out of the way of all the no's. colormeyes.com, and they'll take the survey themselves. They'll read a couple of cards, the BANK, they'll see the value propositions that are important to each of those 4 languages. They'll rank it for themselves, and then they will get a report on their buying personality. And it's a $97 value, but we're giving that away today. And then if anyone is interested in that artificial intelligence article that was published recently in Forbes magazine, they can email me, Peg, P-E-G, at Duchess, DUCHESS, LLC.com. And just put Forbes article or AI article, artificial intelligence article in the subject line, and I will get you that article right away.
Awesome. I appreciate that so much. Well, this has been awesome. I really appreciate your tips and your time being here with us. And I encourage everybody to go get that and connect with that, because just think about that. If you were, honestly, if you were able to know who your buyer is before you get on that call, that is powerful. So thank you so much, Peg, for being on.
Thanks, Amy, very much. Great day.
Yes.